Hey, 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 this is Miss Nikita bringing you greetings from the Lit Online Library. Hashtag LOL. Get it? Lit Online Library, LOL. No? Okay, never mind. Y'all know I'm corny. All right, so please bear with Miss Nikita. I am old and this is new. If you guys could see my document camera right now, it is literally 4 soup cans and a really long book. Gotta be creative though. That's a STEM activity for y'all. So I am going to present to you your read aloud that will help you to complete this week's activity. It is a storm called Katrina. I am choosing activities and videos and things relating to Katrina to show you guys kind of a parallel. A parallel lets you know where things are alike or what they have in common. And almost a crossover too, because these two things do cross. See, Hurricane Katrina was very cataclysmic. It was a major devastating event that I was, wow, I was, oh, maybe 18 when Hurricane Katrina happened, and I will never forget it. So the coronavirus is also a major cataclysmic event that you guys are able to live through and to witness. And I wanted to show you from a child's perspective what it's like to survive a nationwide emergency. So I wanted you guys to actually be able to look at kids who are around your age and see their examples of resilience. Now, resilience means that you take something that is a hardship or a rapid change, something really unexpected and difficult, and you adjust to it and you survive it. And you do a really good job at that. Doesn't mean you're perfect. Doesn't mean you enjoy those changes and those difficulties, but it means that you make a way. And children are very resilient. I mean, you guys are able to create so much. You're able to do so much with technology. You able to make TikTok videos. Y'all are like little actors and actresses. So with your being young and being creative and being tough, you can survive this. I know we're out of school and that's not fun. It's messing up our routines. You miss your friends. You miss that social interaction. It's hard to learn from a distance where you can't raise your hand and ask a question or get something repeated. But we are resilient because here we are in week 2 and look at us surviving. So again, this book is A Storm Called Katrina. The author is Myron Oldberg. The illustrator is Colin Bootman. And we have our main character on the front. His name is Louis. Beautiful artwork. I'm going to be moving the book from side to side so that you guys can actually see both pages. Hurricane's coming, baby, Mama said. I'm not a baby anymore, Mama. I turned 10 last month. Doesn't matter how old you are, Louis Daniel. You'll always be my baby, she said. Hush now and go to bed. The wind rattled my window, something fierce. When the storm howled louder, I covered my ears and hid under the blanket. I hugged my brass cornet close to my chest. I always feel better having it nearby. Someday, I want to play just like Louis Daniel Armstrong, the greatest horn player ever. Look up Louis Armstrong, y'all. He is the GOAT of jazz music. In the morning, I saw that the storm had blown down our big oak tree with the tire swing. Mama's elephant ear plants were beaten flat to the ground. Will you look at that rain, Daddy said. Those drops were bigger than quarters. The wind slammed them sideways against the window. Daddy pulled me away from the glass. The whole house shook. Don't you worry now, Mama said. After some huffing and puffing, Katrina will blow away and land up the coast, just like all those other hurricanes. But I couldn't stop worrying. So as you see, the attitude about Katrina before it actually made serious landfall is kind of similar to how people looked at the coronavirus. I even remember the first maybe week before spring break or maybe 2 weeks before spring break. And I didn't know how to take it. People were saying it was a flu. People were saying it was like the cold. And it was just in so few places at the time. A lot of people didn't think it was a very serious threat. Finally, the rain stopped and everything got real quiet. Daddy opened the door. Water's rising fast, he said. We gotta get out of here. Let me run and get a few things first, Mama said. Daddy shook his head. There's no time. It's already up to our front stoop. I grabbed my horn from the coffee table. No way was I gonna leave it behind. So you see that Louis has a very strong attachment to his horn. It's kind of like his pet. He loves it. Music, I'm assuming, keeps him calm and happy. Outside, the world had turned upside down. Our whole block was filling up with water. Levees broke, a man behind us shouted. Everybody head south. I held on to Mama and my horn as tight as I could. Bet you want to be a baby now, boy. The water rose so high that we had trouble walking. Daddy grabbed a piece of someone's porch that was floating by and lifted me up onto it. I was glad because I was afraid we might run into a gator. I kept a sharp watch, just in case. Mama climbed up beside me and held me in her arms. Everything's gonna be fine, baby, she said. I almost didn't mind her calling me a baby just then. And guys, I am probably about 3 times your age, and I still call my mama like, Mama, I was a kid. I was watching the news. I was a kid. It's okay to call your mama. As Daddy pushed us along, all kinds of things drifted by, even somebody's plastic Christmas tree. I saw a sad-looking dog standing on a bunch of boards. He had a red ball in his mouth. Daddy, I said, can we take him with us? No, Louie, he said. The dog wagged his tail like he wanted to play. He never stopped looking at me as we floated past. I sure felt sorry for that dog. He was in the same fix we were. The water was up to Daddy's chest by now. The sky was so blue and bright it hurt my eyes. Daddy pushed that big old piece of porch up one street and down the next. I tried to help by paddling with the broom that I pulled out of the water. A flatboat floated by. Got any room for us? Daddy called to the driver. Sorry, the man said. We're full. Please, mister, I said. There's a black and white dog back there. Can you take him? He's not very big. The man didn't answer. The boat just drifted away. The murky brown water rose so high, Daddy had to climb up on the porch boat with Mama and me. That was when my broom hit a pile of clothes. Mama covered my eyes. Shh, shh, don't look, baby, she said. But I couldn't help looking. So if you use your inferencing skills, what do you think he hit? Why was that pile of clothes so scary that he shouldn't look down at it? We rowed and paddled until we reached a place where the water wasn't as deep. Daddy jumped off and began to push us again. Finally, we felt the bottom of our boat scrape the ground. Mom and I got off too. Where do we go now? I asked. I don't know, baby, Mama said. We joined a long line of folks heading toward the Superdome. Everyone said we'd be safe there. When we got closer, I could see that the storm had torn a part of the dome's big white roof. People were shouting and crowding the gates. A lady dragging a garbage bag full of stuff came up to us. I've lived around these parts for 50 years, she said, and I ain't never seen nothing like this. She hoisted the heavy bag over her shoulder. I just didn't reckon the storm would ever get this bad. Mama shook her head. Nobody did. The Superdome was a lot bigger inside than it looked on TV. Sunlight streamed through the holes in the roof. Thousands of people were spread all over the place. The air was hot and stinky. Mama, Daddy, and me searched until we found an empty row of seats, then sat down to wait. I was tired and hungry and wished we could go home. I kept thinking about that little black and white dog. I wondered if he was all right. So that is called empathy, when you put yourself in somebody else's shoes and you try to feel what they feel. So he is showing empathy for the puppy. When the electricity went out, Mama, Daddy, and me huddled close together in the dark. I was scared, but I finally fell asleep. In the middle of the night, I woke up from a bad dream about losing my cornet. I felt better when I saw that it was still tucked next to Mama. But I couldn't get back to sleep. Babies were crying and people were talking. Some folks were yelling at each other. The next day, it got even hotter. People had to wait in long lines for the bathrooms. When we finally got in, it smelled so bad I had to hold my breath. On the way back to our seats, we heard someone say that food and water were running out. Daddy thought he'd better try to find us something to eat and maybe some more water. Louie, he said, keep an eye on your mama. I'll be back as soon as I can. Daddy didn't come back all that afternoon. Two men in front of us started fighting over a water bottle. The first man saw me watching him. Hey, boy, he said, eyeing a bottle in my hand. Give me that. You leave my son alone, Mama said. She stood up and hustled us right out of our seats. Come on, she said. We're going to sit somewhere else. But what about Daddy, I asked, grabbing my cornet. He won't be able to find us. Yes, he will, baby, Mama said. Don't you worry. So being scared brings out the worst in people, okay? I always tell my own kids this. People say, I'm mad, I'm angry, but really what they are is scared or hurt. And when you're scared or hurt, you make bad decisions. You strike out and you lash out at people and you start thinking about surviving. And when you think about surviving, you put you first. So it's just like people buying all the toilet paper in the store and all the milk. And, you know, if you watch the news, you've seen some examples of people who get in fights over little basic stuff when they put themselves and things before other people and don't show empathy. We waited in our new seats, then waited some more. My legs hurt from sitting so long. Mama seemed tired and worried. I looked all around that huge dome. There are too many people crowded in this place, I thought. Daddy'll never find us now. I picked up my cornet and fingered the shiny buttons. That's what I had an idea. Mama, I said, jumping up, I'll be right back. No, baby, you stay right here. But Mama, I know how to find Daddy. She looked at me hard. All right, but you come straight back. We're in section 145, row 23. Can you remember that? I nodded and took off down the stairs. Ooh, so let's use our inferencing skills. He looked at his horn and he thought about a way to find his dad. What do you think he's gonna do? How could a horn help you find somebody or help somebody to find you? Ooh, think you can, think you can. I hurried across the fake green grass and stopped right in the middle of the field. I closed my eyes, lifted my horn, and played a song my granddad had taught me, Home Sweet Home. After I blew the last note, I stood there for a minute. A voice cut through all the noise in the Superdome. Louie! Louie Daniel! So he used a horn and a familiar song because he knew his daddy would recognize it. That boy's smart. Daddy! He ran all the way down the steps from the top of the Superdome. He grabbed me up in his arms and swung me around and around. I've looked all over this place, Daddy said. I thought I'd never find you. Where's your mama? Section 145, I answered. Row 23. When we got back, Mama started to cry, but she was smiling at the same time. I'm so proud of you, Louie Daniel, she said. I love these pictures. I love how the dad has braids. That's what's up. The buses are here, someone yelled. People pushed and shoved, trying to reach the doors. When we finally stepped outside, it was so bright, I had to blink a few times before I could see. And there was that black and white dog wagging his tail at me. Daddy, look, I cried. Please, please, can we keep him? Louie, we can't take a dog with us, he said. The buses are for people. Who says we going on any bus? Mama said. Whoop. Daddy looked at her for a long minute. Then he smiled. Come on, boy, I said. We going home. Oh, they're all like walking together like a little family. My gosh, the feels, all the feels. Okay, guys, and so these are some actual pictures from Hurricane Katrina. There is a little boy here playing in the Superdome, kind of like when Louie played his horn. This little boy is actually trying to find something fun to do and just play like a regular kid in the middle of all this tragedy. This is the flooding. So when the levees flooded, the water just poured in on the people. And yes, there were a lot of pets who were abandoned on accident because, you know, you couldn't take pets to shelters and people got separated. So I want you to reflect on some of the hardships that I told you about that Louie endured. His house flooded. They had to travel a long way, just not even in a real boat, on a piece of scrap wood from a porch. The Superdome is this huge area. So imagine, you know, being in Minute Maid Stadium, stuck with a bunch of funky people in the heat. Hurricane Katrina happened in the summer, so there was no air conditioning. Electricity was really spotty. And so people are hot, and they are mad, and they're hungry, and they're sick. And they're breathing. You're breathing on them. They're breathing on you. People are crying. People are dying. People are dying next to you. People you don't even know. When you're wading through that water, there are animals, snakes, alligators. There are bodies. So, I mean, he saw and endured a lot. You're waiting on buses, hoping a bus will take you. You don't know where it's going to take you. It might take you to Houston. It might take you to Dallas. It might take you to Podunk. You don't know. You just have to get out of there and leave your home and never come back, possibly. And he was very fortunate. Had he and his dad, had he not played the horn, his dad may not have found him. And that happened to a lot of kids that got separated. And it took them a while to find their parents again. Or, you know, maybe a mom and a dad got separated and they had to locate each other. And it could take weeks. So I want you guys to just reflect on what I read. Think about Louie's hardships and how did he show resilience? How did his family show resilience? So think about something difficult they dealt with and think about the way that they coped. How did they work around it? So your hardship and your solution have to match. Okay, loves, I'll see y'all later.